Alright guys, this is my dinner I typically have every night. It's egg whites, sriracha, salsa verde, soy sauce, and sriracha, and chicken. And sometimes I put cheese on it if I have enough fat for the day. And my pretzel thins, 0 fat, and then tonight I'm doing white chocolate chips, or vanilla chocolate chips. Also about these 2 items with Kodiak cakes if I don't do oatmeal due to the overwhelming amount of fiber I have if I do both. Puts me at like 45 grams for the day, and that's too much. Alright, got the foundation all set where the house is going to be at. The string laid where the wall is going to be. Very awesome. What's up everyone? Coach David checking in. This is part 10 of my prep for the USA Powerlifting Lake Pleasant Classic and the INBF Arizona State Championship Bodybuilding Show, as well as the OCB Desert, I believe, in November. So thought I'd take the time to go over some stuff. This is obviously a physique update. Feeling flat as a pancake. However, yesterday I did have my refeed, so I'm feeling really good today. And I woke up looking pretty ridiculous this morning as far as fullness. Probably the fullest I've looked thus far. Alright, so one thing I keep getting questioned about is how am I able to prep for a bodybuilding show and a powerlifting meet all in the same time, because most people understand that powerlifting prep is very rigorous and just really brutal. Short answer is I took a long time to diet down for it. Long explanation is I took time to diet down for it, as well as being smart about the way I do my programming. As I lowered my calories, I lowered my volume in my lifting and increased my intensity. It's typically what I do to go into a meet anyways. As far as training, this is my second squat day of the week. This is 290 for 6 sets. Sorry, 5 sets of 2, and I was actually supposed to do 7 sets of 2. However, the last set I actually did 4 reps as opposed to just because I was running out of time and I wanted to hurry up and cram those last 2 reps. And this is bench, 200 pounds for 7 sets of 2. But like I was saying, I typically go into a meet lowering my calories and as well as my volume. I would do that anyways, trying to peak for a meet, so it actually worked out really well, and I just timed it right. So for our athletes out there, we can absolutely do that for you, no problem. And a lot of people typically keep their volume kind of high going into a show, and that's why a lot of them feel like crap. You're losing body fat, so you're losing support and rebound in all your joints and connective tissue, so obviously that's going to start aching. Doing it this way, again, you're just able to keep it together a little bit, as well as having something specific to train for actually helps quite a bit in your motivation. A lot of people will tend to, undertrain going into a show. So again, this is just a good way to stay motivated and make sure you're going into each training session with some motivation. As I've said before, due to the fact that I'm losing weight in my glutes, it's been a harder time keeping my glutes down on the bench. As you see, it came up there. However, I made some adjustments this week in my last session, actually today, so I don't foresee that being an issue. Hey guys,
just wrote a quick list of things I'm going to bring to the powerlifting meet. This is kind of important. A lot of people don't do this, and they'll show up and end up forgetting something random that, you know, just throws them off a little bit. So here's my list, and some of these things are going to seem kind of random. However, again, if you make a list and you mark everything off, once you have it, it just gets rid of something else you have to do. Alright, so I have my gym bag, singlet, wrist straps, 2 pairs of knee sleeves, one for squatting, one for deadlifting, a pair of underwear, smelling salts, chalk, socks, those are the knee high, squat shoes, deadlift shoes, belt, headphones, t-shirt, baby powder, dog's water bowl, we were bringing our dogs, camera, pre-workout. Sometimes with the pre-workout I will take it right before the meet, depending on where my energy level is. Sometimes I'll take it right in the middle of the meet. And food and lunchbox. With my food, I'm going to be bringing my cooked oatmeal, red vines, salt, beef jerky, protein powder, and Powerade Zero. Since I'm prepping for the meet, the bodybuilding show as well, that's why I'm doing Powerade Zero, or else typically I'll just bring some normal Powerade. With the protein powder, clearly there's not going to be a microwave available, so it's pretty obvious. And then the beef jerky, again, it's just a good on-the-go source of protein and has a little bit of additional sodium, which will help energy levels and performance that day. Salt, right after I weigh in, I'm going to throw down the salt, help with some swelling in my joints, might give me a little carryover into the lifting. Red vines, easy carb source. And the cooked oatmeal, as soon as I step off the scale that morning, I'm going to throw that down. Lately I've been finding oatmeal has actually been very beneficial in giving me some bloat. When I throw on my belt, I have I have to take it down so far down to where the belt is sitting on my pelvis and ribs, and it's kind of uncomfortable, so I find that if I throw in a little more fiber, I get a little bit more bloated, and it just makes everything a little more comfortable, especially when trying to brace well in the hole. And again, my lunchbox. So that's it, guys. Later.
As for bench, doing that by keeping my heels turned outwards, which smashes my hips down into the bench. So for deadlifts, because I'm doing my openers next week, I lowered my percentages. Here's 87% on my 1 rep max. And as far as the working sets, I'm doing 4 singles at 82% on my 1 rep max. Usually for my athletes that aren't currently dieting this much, I don't lower the percentages that much. Because they're fresh and they don't have to worry about recovery as much. Okay, so again, here are my singles, 340, and this is 82% of my 1 rep max. If you notice, I do the same thing every single set as far as my setup. It doesn't matter if it's squat, bench, or deadlift. I think this is really important. Setup is probably one of the most important things. That's what you're doing leading into the exercise. So if you're slacking on that, most generally you're going to slack on the exercise itself and the movement. And again, just trying to perfect everything and repeat everything, you're just narrowing the chances of something bad happening. And this is Z bodybuilding work. One thing I've been really trying to do this prep, and I think I've actually done a pretty good job, is maintaining my arm mass. I've been trying to keep the volume fairly high in these, and a lot of people don't understand with bench press, a lot of bicep is involved in the movement, so by keeping these nice and strong, or fairly strong, I've been able to push harder. Water, eggs, egg whites, and broccoli, and chicken. We look really boring right now. And this is Sunday's work. Again, 87% of my 1 rep max for a single. This is just my warm up. Just checking my depth. Making sure my hips are staying tight before I do the single. The single's 320. One thing I've been noticing lately from the motorcycle accident, I dislocated my right shoulder, and it's been a little grittier than usual. And in fact, in my back bicep pose, of all things, that's where it feels a little loose, like almost like it's getting ready to pop out of socket. Lifting, it's not a big deal. It just, again, feels a little grindy. Alright, and then here are my working sets. I just did 3 sets of 2, 82%, 1 rep max. These are 305. Even though they are light compared to what I've been doing, they felt pretty heavy, just like everything else. But I'm all done now, so just going into next week, I have to do my openers, then some warm-ups, and a little bit of accessory work, and then I'm going to be leading into the show, the meet, excuse me. Again, I'm trying to repeat everything I do on every rep, every set, including my setup. And if you notice, I breathe into my belt and then rotate my abs and my ribs down into the belt to brace. And here's my bench, my single, 200 pounds, 87% for a single. And then with bench, since it's by far my worst lift, I like to do singles leading into the meet and have my girlfriend give me the cues. And then here's my working set, or my working weight, 190 for 6 reps. That's it for this one, guys. Openers next week.